I have to say, I absolutely love grocery hauls when I can look back at pictures and know exactly what season I had done the grocery haul because of the produce. Like no other time but the middle of the summer do you get tomatoes like this. Today I'm going to walk you through all of the things that I got for my grocery haul and how much I ended up spending, even going to Costco and a couple other stores if I was able to stay in my budget or if I went over like I did last month. Our grocery budget is $135 per person, and there are 2 adults that live here at my house, so our grocery budget is $270 per month. Now that money I did go over was money that I had saved since the beginning of 2026, so it was still in my grocery budget, but it was my largest grocery haul ever in June. All of my grocery hauls for the last few years are on this channel, and we also have a meals series where every 2 weeks I post the meals that we're making so you can see that we're still using those ingredients we bought on our monthly grocery shopping haul weeks and sometimes even months later, depending on the items. If you're new here, my name is 𝐂𝐻𝐶𝐓, and this is the 𝐂𝐻𝐍𝐊𝐒 Legacy, where I teach you how to save money on groceries. I actually had a TED Talk on washing produce, and that is in the news in the United States a lot right now. This past week or so is a very hot topic. So I want to talk about the produce that I bought. I did still get some super greens in a container. Now, this is something that says that it is triply washed and something that I always wash again because items like these are often recalled. In the news, the suggestions that they are giving for produce that you're bringing in is to make sure that you are rinsing it and that you have clean hands, which I wash my hands like 100 times a day when I'm in the kitchen. But I'm going to wash this just like I normally do, and then making sure that I'm just taking the extra step of rinsing everything off after I'm done. So things that have smooth sides like this, I normally just wash in the vinegar wash and I don't bother rinsing it off again afterwards. But right now, while this little outbreak is happening, I am going to make sure that I'm rinsing things before I set them out to dry. But this outbreak has not scared me into not buying produce. We are going to continue buying and using and eating produce just like we normally do. But this is a good reminder to do what's best for your household and how you feel most confident. So for me, I'm going to wash the produce just the way that I've always been washing them, just rinsing them off a little bit more and having peace of mind knowing I'm doing the best I can for my family. So that is what I am going to do during this, and continue to still eat fresh meals with produce and have snacks, serve it to my family, and also cook it and put it away. But it's also a good time to remember that this is my kitchen and what I'm doing at my house, and you might do other things at your house. I did get the super greens in this container that I will wash. I did get some strawberries also, and I want to have some strawberry salad with poppy seed dressing that I make from scratch. So that is why I got this. I also got a head of lettuce, a head of romaine lettuce. I still have half of a head of the old lettuce from the June grocery shopping trip, and it's still perfectly crunchy and we can still continue to use this. I did pick up some cilantro. This I haven't washed yet, but I did put it in some water just so when I go to wash it, it won't get all wilty. So it is in filtered water and it will still be washed. I still have some parsley left in the refrigerator from last month that normally lasts around 6 weeks to 2 months. I also got some celery. We normally have celery. I have a 6-pound bag of carrots. And the carrots, we go through this entire bag over the course of the month. I eat carrots most afternoons as a snack, and I eat it normally with some high protein dip. I got a cucumber and also some snap peas. One of our favorite little visitors has been loving the snap peas. So since they're done in the garden, I made sure to pick some up. And this artichoke is about as big as my head. So I was laughing at how huge this was. This is also one that you can trim off the ends and put it in the refrigerator in some filtered water, and this will stay fresh for a couple weeks. I did get 3 large tomatoes. We will soon have tomatoes outside, but these were too beautiful to pass up. And then I also got some cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, whatever you want to call them. These will end up, after I wash them, I store them in the refrigerator, where the larger tomatoes I store on a plate on the counter. I got a bunch of peppers. I got the big bag of peppers and then some extra red peppers. We use a lot of peppers in our cooking, especially in the summertime, and also some jalapenos. I picked up a couple more sweet potatoes. This was the only new potatoes I'm adding. We have a bunch already here at the house, so a couple sweet potatoes to get us through the next month. And of course, it's July. I had to get strawberries. So we have kind of taken a break from strawberries. We kind of got burned out of them a little bit, and now I'm excited to bring them back. I also picked up a couple plums and also a case of peaches and of nectarines. So these are perfect in season, and I can't wait to wash them and then start eating them. That is the produce. We are going to move on to dairy, and I'm going to move all these things around so I have room on my counter. So I'm getting all of the stuff on the counter behind me, and I looked over on the other counter and realized I forgot one of the most important things, having a watermelon for July. This particular watermelon was also only $4.98. Now we'll go into some of the dairy items. I got another block of Kerrygold cheese. We love this cheese. I do have some mozzarella and cheddar down in the freezer, but I kind of use this for everything. And this was $3 off, so I was really excited to grab it. I got some Greek yogurt. If you have the green label, that is the full fat. I like that a lot more, but our Costco has switched over to the non-fat one. Don't like it as much, but I still use it in a ton of recipes. And we always get a tub of cottage cheese. This is something that if they had organic cottage cheese, we would grab, but they don't, and we go through this entire tub over the month. This is something that I don't buy very often, normally around the holidays, but I want to make something more summery with lemon, and I got some ricotta cheese. Now we get A2 milk normally every other time that we go grocery shopping. I didn't need to get milk. This time we still have over 2 cartons left in the refrigerator, so I did pick up some half and half. That's all the dairy things that we got, but in the dairy case, we also got 4 dozen eggs. This is hard for me to lift up, so I'm going to lift it up quickly and show you that I got 2 whole chickens. I was planning on getting some sort of chicken again this time, either chicken breast or something, and then I found out that my neighbor is on a liquid diet for the next couple of weeks, so I offered to make her some chicken stock. That was for sure what made my decision to get whole chickens instead of just getting chicken breasts this time. And I have to say that we've lived here for like 9 months, and to be able to do something nice for our neighbor kind of for the first time is really exciting for me. We'll kind of move into the pantry items next, but I did get organic coffee. I like this brand of coffee, and this is what we normally drink. And then Mike grounds what we need for the week and stores that in a glass jar with a metal lid. And I normally don't buy this because I honestly don't drink it. Sometimes we'll have company over and we'll have some left over and use it for a recipe, but there are 2 recipes that I want to be using this, and I did pick up a bottle of wine. I did get pretty much the cheapest bottle I could that would work for the recipes. So it was like $5 and something, under $6 for the bottle. I will be able to use it for the 2 recipes that I'm thinking about. And you can also freeze this in ice cube trays if you want to freeze it and use it later. But you don't have to cook with any alcohol. You can totally just use chicken stock and substitute that in for any recipe that does call for wine. So I just thought it was kind of something fun that I could show a couple different recipes. And I got these big jumbo shells to make that recipe. It'll probably be on the meals 13 or 14 video. Just some more pantry things that I grabbed is, oh, there's something in the freezer I need to grab too. I almost forgot. I will do that at the very end. I did get a couple of cans of the butter beans. These couple of frozen things that we did pick up at a local grocery store here in our small rural town. And all the other shopping we did was about 45 minutes away from our house. So we love that we have moved now and we can't see Costco from our front window like we could at our old house. But it really makes us be thankful that we had worked so hard for so many years to kind of push out going grocery shopping. So now we can just go grocery shopping once a month and that drive doesn't bother us. If you watched my last grocery shopping haul, you will see I bought 25 pounds of dried lima beans, but sometimes it's just nice to have a can to open. The last store that we had stopped at had these organic Great Northern beans on sale, so I made sure to grab a couple of those. I got a can of water chestnuts. I like to have one of these cans on the shelf. We only normally use like maybe 2 or 3 over the course of the entire year, and mostly for making lettuce wraps. I did get this smaller can of baked beans. Mike was with me, so he was pointing it out. And I do like getting the smaller cans, even though it's more economical to get the larger can. We just don't go through it as much. So this can is perfect for our family dinner. I also got another package of gyros. These are like $4, and I love that you can put them in the freezer and just pull out a couple at a time. So we have these mostly for homemade pizzas. They're super easy to make pizzas out of. We use them for wraps and gyros and different recipes, so they're really handy to have on hand. Okay, I got 2 gallons of vinegar. This is kind of funny. This is a vinegar I've been using for many years, but I just refill the Heinz bottle, the glass bottle that's been in my kitchen. So it has been probably pre-COVID when I bought that glass bottle, and I just refill it. But we normally go through a bottle of vinegar about every 6 months. Okay, these items we put straight in the freezer when we got home, but I got some frozen peas, and I believe in always having a treat for whoever's carrying in the grocery, especially with my shoulder hurting and me not being able to do very much. Mike got some ice cream bars. That is the grocery haul. That is all the things that I bought this grocery shopping trip, and I'm not going to go grocery shopping again until the middle of August. I went grocery shopping on July 9th. But I do want to talk about 3 more things here towards the end of the video. We're going to go over the budget and how I save for things, and then talk about some bulk meat purchases and something that I realized when we were at Costco. And then I also want to give a shoulder update for people that are following me and want to know what is going on. I keep track of all of our ingredients, all of our shopping lists, things that we've made for meals, and our budget in my meal planners. So I have everything going back like 10 years now. I can flip through the different seasons, remember recipes that I was making for my family that they enjoyed. And that way I don't have to scroll through other people's recipes to try to find something that I know how to make and my family likes. I also keep track of things in here like the inventory I have in the house, or as we go to open up a bottle of something like a bottle of avocado oil, that's when I write it down on my list. So I know I have like 3 or 4 months to watch for it to come on sale before I actually need to buy it. And since we are talking about the planner, we also have the book that goes through 75 fruits and vegetables, how I'm able to keep them fresh for weeks and push out those grocery shopping trips so we have 0 food waste. So both the book and the planner are listed in the description with a bundle code discount. For July, our grocery budget is $135 per person, and there are 2 of us, so our total grocery budget is $270 per month. So even though we are feeding multiple people throughout the month, I still just base it on how many people live here at the house. So going grocery shopping July 9th, the last time I went grocery shopping was June 11th. At Costco, I spent $149.16. Yes, you can walk out the door spending less than $300. At Walmart was our second stop, and that was $30.96. And then we stopped at a local grocery store and we spent $28.31. So in June, in total, what I've spent is $208.43. And yes, I'm reading all the little numbers here, so I can't memorize them and say them in the right order. I just have to read them. So my July grocery budget was $270. I spent $208.43. That means I have $61.57 left over for my July budget. And even though in June I spent almost $400 on groceries, I still had $58.24 left in that carryover grocery account. So I add that $58.24 to this month's leftover, which is $61.57. So that means my carryover now for 2026 is $119.81. I did have some money that was left over in my grocery account at the end of 2025, and I've just completely forgotten about that. That just stays in that account. I do know what the balance is. And it was on the end of the 2025 grocery haul video that we did at the end of the year. But that number I just kind of forget about and just focus on the current year's number. And that way I kind of have some cushion in my account, and I can buy things when I'm wanting to buy things for food security. As we're getting closer to like harvest seasons, that's when I normally will buy larger quantities of things that I want to can. This year, I'm probably not going to do very much canning because of my shoulder. We also do a half beef purchase normally every 2 to sometimes we'll push it out to 2.5 years. So it's been a little over 18 months since the last time we purchased beef, and it's in our freezer. And I honestly haven't stressed too much about saving for the next beef purchase yet. One, the farmer was taking a little bit of a break that we normally order the beef through. But I also think it's really important to show maybe some larger meat purchases for people that can't buy half of a beef at a time. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. Might be something I might do for a few months before we actually buy another half beef again. But we're like a year away from that right now. But again, my shoulder, I've been dealing with it. So I haven't been digging down in that chest freezer very much since we moved. Like I know that we have roasts in there and the hamburger, some carne asada in there, but I haven't really been pulling things out because it hurts to reach down in there. So I had Mike helping me the other day in there, and I totally forgot we had these packages of rib roast. Now, we normally get a half a beef every couple of years, but this was the first time with this butcher, and they give us some different cuts that we're not used to using. Mike does have a smoker, and we were talking about trying to see about defrosting some of them and putting them on the smoker. This is a new cut for me that I've never had before, so I really need to research and make sure that I'm doing things right. But when we were at Costco yesterday, I was looking at the package that was about equivalent to what I have in my freezer. We just have it broken up into 4 portions of it, and it was almost $300. So for those same cuts of meat, I paid $4.50 per pound for that. And even when we buy meat again, it will still be about that same price per pound if I'm buying it from a farmer. Even if you're getting it per pound for $6, it's still a really good deal. But for those cuts that I really don't know what I'm doing with, I know I can cut them down to steaks. I need to do some more learning about it. Seeing the package of them being $300 makes me want to actually invest some time in this and make sure that I'm doing it right. But as you watch our meal series, you'll see where I've taken like a $20 pork loin that I got way back in February, and I'm still using it here in July for meals. So I really do stretch out those meat purchases as much as I possibly can. Even these chickens that I got, I will end up using those for dinners and for extra, and then we'll still be making stock out of it too. So I'm really stretching out those things that we have and focusing on having zero waste and having really good food rotation in our home. Now, shoulder update for those who have been following on this. I'm pretty sure I have something torn right here in my rotator cuff. I still don't see the doctor for 2 more weeks, but I'm like 2 weeks since I started PT and it's not getting better at all. I don't think it's just a frozen shoulder. There's definitely something torn, like screaming pain when I move my arm just wrong, which is just really funny because my biceps, I can pick up things all day long and it doesn't hurt. But if I go to reach behind my back, if I go to reach up or out, it just screaming pain. So anyways, I don't know what the next couple months are going to look like, but we are still going to be putting out videos. I'm just trying to think ahead a little bit as we're going into canning season and know that I'm probably not going to be able to do very much this year. And there's other things that I'm trying to plan ahead. Like last month, I bought that 50-pound bag of onions, even though I know it's late in the season to be picking that up. Normally I get it in September and then they last all the way through the 4th of July. But those I'm actually going to be chopping up soon and starting to put into the freezer and thinking about those ingredients that I can get prepped ahead and into the freezer. So when I am down for recovery, if I'm having surgery, I will have those items that we can still make meals really easily because shoulder surgery can be a really long recovery. So that is the grocery haul. That's the updates that are happening in our household and what's going on. Make sure that you're checking out our meal series that we post every 2 weeks and I can show you what I'm doing with all of these things, especially as I am making some new fun summer recipes to give you ideas. And I'll just say, in our household, we wash our produce, we bless our food, and we just pray that we're doing the best that we can and we give ourselves a little bit of grace. So don't let the media scare you right now. Do what you think is best for your family and be able to give your family the best ingredients you possibly can.